Sagittarius. A cosmic turning point is about to ignite your path. There are moments in life when we sense something stirring deep within us, a quiet yet undeniable knowing that change is on its way. For Sagittarius, the coming days carry the essence of a cosmic turning point, a shift so profound it may feel as if the universe itself is whispering directly to your spirit. You may not be able to name it yet, but you can feel it, like the air just before a storm, electric and alive, ready to ignite everything it touches. Sagittarius, you are a seeker by nature, forever reaching beyond limits, forever chasing truth and freedom. This season, the skies align to remind you that your journey is not random. It is guided, supported, and blessed in ways you are only beginning to understand. What once felt like delay is transforming into divine timing, and what once seemed impossible is suddenly within reach. As you read these words, allow yourself to imagine what doors might swing open, what possibilities may bloom, and what hidden strengths within you are ready to rise. If this message resonates, stay with me until the end, like, share, and subscribe so we can walk this journey together. For the universe has chosen this moment to ignite your path, and your soul already knows it's ready. Gate 1. The call of the turning point. Every Sagittarius carries within them a fire that refuses to be contained. You are ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and wisdom, which means your spirit is never content with what is small, confined, or predictable. This cosmic turning point that is arriving in your life is not random. It is the answer to a calling that has been echoing inside you for months, perhaps even years. Think about the places where you have felt restless, where your heart has longed for something more, yet circumstances seem to hold you back. Maybe it was in your career where opportunities felt stalled, as if doors kept closing before you could walk through. Maybe it was in your relationships, where connections that once felt alive have grown heavy, leaving you yearning for a love that feels like freedom instead of limitation. Or maybe it was within yourself, where you have battled doubts that told you to shrink, even as your spirit begged you to expand. Sagittarius, this is the essence of the turning point. The tension between who you have been and who you are becoming has reached its breaking point. Imagine a bow pulled taut with an arrow resting against it. The longer it is drawn back, the greater the force when it is finally released. Your life has been pulling you back, teaching you patience, humility, and resilience, even when you wanted to leap ahead. Now that arrow is ready to soar. This is why you may feel a mixture of fear and excitement in your chest. Transformation always carries both. You are being asked to step forward into an unknown that promises not just survival, but true fulfillment. Consider the story of someone who once stood at a similar edge. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, who at one time felt like her life was collapsing around her. She had faced rejection after rejection, was struggling to make ends meet, and could have easily believed the story that her dreams were too far out of reach. But the turning point came when she refused to stop writing, when she decided that the fire within her mattered more than the voices of doubt around her. That moment of persistence became the ignition of a path that would change not only her life, but the lives of millions who found magic in her words. Sagittarius, your moment may not look identical, but the energy is the same. Life is aligning circumstances to push you beyond the ordinary into something extraordinary. If you have been hesitating, waiting for the right time, the cosmos is gently telling you, the right time does not arrive by accident. It is created when you choose to answer the call. But here is the truth. Every turning point carries tests. You may be asked to let go of something familiar that no longer serves you, whether that is a job, a friendship, or even a version of yourself that has grown too small. This is not punishment, it is pruning. The universe clears space so new growth can emerge. Think of a tree shedding its leaves in autumn. It looks barren for a season, but only because it is preparing to bloom again. Likewise, you may feel that something is being stripped away, but beneath the surface, the roots of your destiny are strengthening. What helps in moments like this is to trust your inner compass, that Sagittarian intuition that always points toward freedom and truth. You might not have every answer yet, but you don't need to. You only need enough light to take the next step. And with each step, more will be revealed. Some of the greatest journeys in history began not with certainty, but with faith. Think of explorers who crossed oceans without knowing what lay beyond the horizon. They trusted that the world was wider than they could see, and because they dared, they discovered new lands. Your turning point asks the same courage of you now. does not demand perfection. It only asks for willingness, the willingness to release the weight of old fears, the willingness to trust your vision even when others cannot see it, the willingness to believe that the fire within you was placed there for a reason. In the weeks ahead, pay attention to the subtle signs. A conversation that sparks inspiration, a sudden invitation, or even a quiet knowing in your heart that says, "This is the way." These are not coincidences. They are the universe arranging your path, guiding you toward the doorway that is waiting to be opened. And once you step through, you will wonder why you ever doubted that this moment would come. Sagittarius, you are standing at the threshold of a cosmic turning point, and when you choose to walk forward, your path will ignite. Not with small flickers, but with a blaze that lights the way not only for you, but for others who will find courage in your story. Gate to the fire of expansion. Sagittarius, your very essence is expansion. You are not meant to live within walls too narrow or pathways too rigid. This cosmic turning point is not only about releasing what no longer fits but also about stepping into a wider horizon, one that stretches further than you may have dared to imagine. When Jupiter, your ruling planet, speaks through the stars, it does not whisper of small victories. It roars of vast opportunities, growth, and abundance that flows when you align with your truest self. Think for a moment about the areas of your life where you have felt boxed in. Maybe you have been working in a role that pays the bills but does not ignite your passion. Each day you tell yourself you should be grateful, and yet deep down, you feel a gnawing emptiness, a hunger for more. That hunger is not greed, Sagittarius. It is your soul reminding you that you were not born to simply exist. You were born to live expansively, to stretch your wings and discover what lies beyond the horizon. This turning point will begin to push those doors open. New chances for learning, traveling, teaching, or sharing your voice are making their way toward you. History shows us that those who embrace expansion transform not only their own lives, but also the lives of countless others. Think of Nelson Mandela, who endured years of confinement, yet refused to let those walls define the vastness of his vision. When the time came, his release was not simply his own, it was the liberation of a nation. Expansion often begins in the quiet chambers of the heart, long before the world sees the results. And so it is with you, Sagittarius. The universe is whispering. Your inner expansion is preparing the ground for outer blessings. But let us be honest, expansion can be uncomfortable. It stretches us beyond what feels safe. Imagine a bird that has stayed too long in its nest. The nest is familiar, it offers security, but it cannot offer flight. At some point, the bird must leap into the open air, trusting its wings. That leap is terrifying. Yet it is the only way to discover the sky. You may feel this same tension. Do you cling to what is known? Or do you risk stepping into the unknown that promises greater freedom? The cosmos is asking you to leap, Sagittarius, to trust the wings you have spent years strengthening. Your expansion will not only touch external opportunities, but also your inner world. New philosophies, new perspectives, and new truths are calling you. You may find yourself drawn to books, teachers, or even encounters with strangers that shake you awake and remind you that life is far bigger than you once believed. These awakenings are not random. They are pieces of the puzzle that help you align with the destiny unfolding. Pay attention to what sparks your curiosity, for curiosity is the compass of a Sagittarius soul. Where it points, there lies your growth. At the same time, Jupiter's influence reminds you that expansion without grounding can lead to chaos. This is not about chasing every shiny possibility, but about discerning what truly resonates with your deeper values. Not every door is meant to be walked through, and not every opportunity will nourish your spirit. The key is to ask yourself, does this path feel like freedom, or does it feel like another cage disguised as gold? Sagittarius wisdom lies in knowing the difference. Let me share a real-life example. A young woman I once knew felt trapped in a corporate job. On the outside it looked perfect, good pay, stability, the approval of her family. But inside she felt hollow. She had always dreamed of writing, of traveling, of teaching others through her words, but fear told her she would fail. Finally, after months of sleepless nights, she decided to take one small step. She began writing during her lunch breaks, sharing her thoughts online. What started as a quiet practice became a ripple that grew. Eventually, her writing caught attention, and doors she never imagined began to open. Within 2 years, she was traveling, teaching workshops, and living a life that felt aligned with her true nature. Her leap into expansion began with something small, but it required the courage to honor her fire. This is the energy moving through you now. You may not be asked to abandon everything overnight, but you are being asked to make choices that honor your longing for expansion. Maybe it is saying yes to an opportunity that feels risky but exciting. Maybe it is starting that project you have been postponing. Maybe it is choosing to invest in your growth through learning, travel, or creative pursuits. Each small step becomes a signal to the universe. I am ready. And the universe always responds to readiness with synchronicity. Sagittarius, this turning point is not about minor shifts. It is about exponential growth. It is about aligning your fire with the greater fire of the cosmos. You are stepping into a season where the universe conspires to expand your vision, your reach, and your joy. Allow yourself to dream bigger than you have dared. The sky is not the limit. It is merely the beginning. Gate 3. The courage to release. Expansion cannot happen without release. For Sagittarius, this cosmic turning point is not only about stepping into new horizons, but also about untying yourself from the ropes of the past. Freedom is your essence, but freedom always comes with the willingness to let go of what binds you. And the truth is, some of the things you are holding on to are too heavy to carry into your future. Think for a moment about the attachments in your life. Perhaps it is a relationship that no longer nourishes you, but you stay because of comfort, fear of loneliness, or the hope that one day it will return to what it once was. Or maybe it is a career path you chose years ago, one that once felt aligned but now feels like a cage, and yet the thought of change terrifies you. Or perhaps more quietly, it is an old belief you carry within yourself, that you are not enough, that you must constantly prove your worth, that failure would destroy you. These are the weights that hold your wings down. Releasing is not easy. It feels like stepping into emptiness. But Sagittarius, release is not emptiness, it is space. And space is where new life grows. Think of the farmer who clears away dead crops before planting fresh seeds. Without that clearing, there is no harvest. In the same way, the universe is asking you to clear the ground of your life, so it can send you the blessings you've been praying for. A powerful example comes from Oprah Winfrey. At one point in her career, she faced the decision to continue with a show format that had made her successful, but no longer aligned with her vision, or to risk letting it go and creating something truer to her heart. The easier path would have been to cling to what worked. But she chose to release, to risk the unknown. That act of courage birthed the Oprah Winfrey Show in the form the world came to love. A platform that changed not only her destiny but also the collective consciousness of millions. Her willingness to release created space for greatness. You may not stand on a stage like Oprah, but your release will have ripple effects just as profound. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create freedom not only for yourself but also for those connected to you. Your courage becomes their permission. Imagine a Sagittarius parent who dares to leave an unhealthy relationship. Their child learns from that act that love should never mean settling for pain. Or imagine a Sagittarius artist who leaves behind a safe job to follow their passion. Their community witnesses the beauty born from that leap and feels inspired to follow their own dreams. Your release matters more than you know. But how do you know what to release? Listen to your body, Sagittarius. Your body does not lie. Where do you feel heaviness, tension, dread? These are signals pointing you toward what has expired. The soul speaks through discomfort, urging you to stop betraying yourself for the sake of safety. And equally, notice where you feel lightness, aliveness, or even a flicker of excitement. That is where your spirit longs to lead you. Of course, fear will rise. Fear always rises when we stand at the edge of release. But remember, fear is not a stop sign. It is simply an indication that you are crossing into new territory. Fear is the trembling of the wings before the first flight. If you wait until you feel no fear, you will wait forever. The way forward is to carry fear with you but not let it decide. One of the deepest releases you may face is the release of self-judgment. As a Sagittarius, you are often harder on yourself than others realize. You set standards so high, and when you fall short, you can spiral into shame. But shame is a prison that was never meant to hold you. The turning point you are entering asks you to release the idea that you must be perfect to be worthy. Your imperfections are not blocks to your destiny. They are part of the very path that shapes you. So, Sagittarius, what would it look like if you trusted release? What if instead of fearing what you might lose, you anticipated what you might gain? What if you treated every ending as a beginning in disguise? The arrow cannot fly if it clings to the bow. Likewise, your spirit cannot soar if it clings to what is done. In the weeks to come, life may present you with chances to practice this release. Pay attention. Maybe a conversation closes a door. Maybe a sudden shift removes something from your grasp. Maybe your own intuition whispers that it's time to let go. These are not punishments. They are invitations. Each release is the universe preparing you for the wider life you've been asking for. And here lies the paradox. When you finally release, you discover that what you feared losing was never the source of your freedom. It was only the illusion of it. True freedom lives in your willingness to trust that the universe has your back, that nothing real can be lost, and that what is meant for you cannot miss you. This cosmic turning point is your initiation into that truth. Sagittarius, dare to release, and watch how the fire of your spirit ignites brighter than ever before. Gate 4, walking into the flame of destiny. Sagittarius, the final gate of this cosmic turning point is not just about recognizing change, or dreaming of expansion, or even releasing what no longer serves you. It is about stepping fully into the flame of destiny with both feet, without hesitation, without looking back. This is the moment when the seeker becomes the traveler, when vision becomes embodiment, when possibility becomes reality. For so long you may have felt like life was preparing you, testing your patience, stretching your resilience. It may have seemed unfair at times. Why the delays, why the struggles, why the sense of waiting for something just out of reach? But what if those delays were not punishment but preparation? What if every closed door was simply rerouting you to the exact path you were meant to walk? The truth is, Sagittarius, you were never late. You were being aligned. To step into destiny is to walk into uncertainty, and yet carry certainty within yourself. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who, despite danger and adversity, stepped into her destiny as a voice for education and equality. Her path was not safe, but it was true. And because she answered the call, her life became a beacon of change for millions. You may not face the same battle, but your willingness to live your truth carries the same weight in the sphere of your own world. Your destiny matters, not only to you but to those who are waiting for the light you bring. Walking into destiny requires faith. Faith not only in the universe but in yourself. You are the archer, Sagittarius, and the bow has been pulled back long enough. This is the moment when you must release the arrow of your soul, aiming not at what is safe, but at what is true. Faith means trusting that even if you cannot see the entire path, the ground will rise to meet your feet with every step you take. One of the greatest illusions is the belief that destiny will arrive fully formed, without effort. But destiny is not a gift delivered at your doorstep. It is a fire that you must step into. The flame will burn away your fears, your doubts, your masks, and yet what remains will be pure, unstoppable, and luminous. You will not lose yourself in this fire. You will find yourself. Sagittarius, reflect for a moment on the times in your life when you dared to follow your inner fire, even when it seemed irrational. Maybe it was leaving a job, or moving to a new city, or saying yes to love when it terrified you. At the time you may have doubted whether you made the right choice, but looking back, can you see how those leaps shaped the most meaningful chapters of your story? The same energy is rising again now. Destiny is not ahead of you. It is calling you in this very moment. The question is, will you answer? Answering does not mean waiting for perfect timing, because perfect timing does not exist outside of your willingness. It means beginning now with what you have where you are. Write the first page of the book. Send the application. Speak the truth you have been silencing. Open your heart again even after it has been broken. Whatever it is, your action becomes the spark that ignites the path. The universe meets boldness with blessing. And yes, there will be challenges. Destiny is not a smooth, paved road. It is a living fire, unpredictable and alive. But Sagittarius, this is where your spirit shines brightest. You were not built for smallness, for safety at all costs. You were built for the wide open, for adventure, for the wild beauty of a life fully lived. Your optimism, your courage, your refusal to be caged. These are your gifts, and they will carry you through whatever challenges arise. So here is the invitation. Dare to walk into the flame. Dare to live the life your soul has been whispering about. Dare to believe that the turning point you are sensing is not fantasy. It is destiny unfolding. Do not shrink. Do not hesitate. The arrow is ready. The target is waiting, and the universe is holding its breath, waiting for you to release. Sagittarius, your time is now. Walk into the flame, and watch as your path ignites with a brilliance that was always meant to be yours. The journey ignites. Sagittarius, we have walked together through the gates of this cosmic turning point. The restless call within your spirit, the fire of expansion, the courage of release, and finally, the step into destiny itself. What becomes clear is that this moment in your life is not ordinary. It is not a passing season to be dismissed. It is a rare threshold, one that asks you to honor the fire in your soul, and to trust that the universe is guiding you towards something greater than you have yet imagined. You may still feel fear as you face the unknown, but remember, fear is only the echo of the old, not the truth of the new. The truth is that you are ready to expand, ready to release, ready to walk boldly into the life your spirit has been craving. The restlessness you have felt is not a curse. It is your compass, pointing you toward freedom, growth, and joy. From this point forward, every step you take in alignment with your truth will ignite the path ahead. The universe is not against you. It is conspiring with you. Even challenges will become fuel for your fire, shaping you into someone who can carry the blessings waiting on the other side of this turning point. So breathe deeply. Feel the arrow of your destiny drawn back, poised to soar. Trust that your leap will not lead to emptiness but to flight. Sagittarius, your cosmic turning point has arrived. The path is igniting beneath your feet. All that remains is your yes. If this message resonates, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue walking this journey together. For this is only the beginning, and the universe has so much more to reveal to you.